Happy Wednesday, everyone. You know, you can wake up and feel sad that you're not crypto rich yet, driving the Lambo, leased or owned, or you can wake up and get busy. I've been choosing the latter recently. Been choosing that. Usually optimized towards that one. I don't mean busy in the sense of, oh, I'm busy, I can't do this. Busy really just means it's not a priority. I don't have time, just not a priority, right? I don't have time to stream. I don't have time to say anything productive. I don't have time to tweet the amazing stats, the stuff primed to pump in the ecosystem. I have time to talk about that. That's a different kind of busy. Busy meaning working towards something pretty cool. Very unique opportunity in cryptocurrency. Nothing to sell you, no course, no group, nothing against anyone who has. Go out there and make all the money you can. I just like it this way. Say hi to the chat. We got an awesome show today. I'm excited. We got a wild SJ. She'll be on in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. And yeah, I'm going to talk about PulseX. I feel like I talk about PulseX the least. And it's actually, I mean, they're all interesting. Like Hex is super interesting. PulseX is super interesting. PulseChain. I mean, each one have amazing verticals you could talk about on each particular thing that's amazing, from either tokenomics or fundamentals or game theory or just how it fits into the broader vision of the ecosystem. But I don't do a lot of PulseX streams. And usually when I do, I got a PulseX expert, over here. But yeah, I think I got enough good information to show you. And we have some updates today. So we'll get into that in just a second. Fox Melder, how's it going, man? First in the chat. How's it going? John Swim, thank you for your streams. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that. Bobsled, welcome back, Bobsled. Hello, folks. Still poor today. Same as yesterday. Well, the first thing I thought of was poor as a mindset, the Ronald Reagan quote. But I guess there's actually a really helpful way you can take that in general, the way I take it. I never did understand it. It's the first reaction, right? Poor as a mindset is like, oh, nice for you, rich guy, right? People like that's kind of the context that a lot of people took it back then. And still translated as today is just like, push you to the side, get out of the way, poor guy, that kind of thing. And I'm just speaking in general here, Bob, not about you, obviously. But I think the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, if you haven't read that, is fantastic. And that kind of shift in, poor versus, it's like rich versus wealthy, poor versus broke. I think there is a big difference between them, and it's really cool how once a switch flips in your mind about thinking about things in certain ways, it starts to be much more interesting. Like you start seeing things to your benefit. You start seeing green candle or red candles as a benefit rather than a detriment, that kind of thing too. So anyways, that being said, yeah, prices are still down what they were a week or so ago. Yeah, I guess. I think I did look at them today because Richard tweeted. I try not to look at them very often, or if I do, it's just in passing, just to get a quick stat. Like I don't look at them as in, oh, I'm going to look at them and determine how I feel when I look at them, sort of thing. So, yeah, I know it probably wasn't you. My mind is rich, my wallet's poor. Yeah, there you go. I agree. I think we're all poor on paper right now, right? Like in general, relatively speaking, not it doesn't have to be absolute, but relatively speaking, I mean, what we think this ecosystem can do, a lot of people feel like they should be a lot richer, but that would be an expectation. So, anyways. Tile, how's it going? Hopefully we'll be all a lot richer in the coming months. I certainly hope so. Weeks even, I don't know. We'll see. Crypto goes up and down. Casadamated. You're going to pronounce that for me again one day, hopefully. David Laws, greetings from Australia. Appreciate that, man. Shout out to Australia. I like Australia a lot. I want to visit again one day. A lot of great hexagons down there. Appreciate your support as well. Let's get into it, though. I got a lot to cover in about 15 more minutes before SJ comes on and we do a May. So if you got any questions you may feel are stupid questions, which I try not to take the view that any of them are. It's just, everyone's ignorant of something, right? That's until you learn. You have a great chance to ask them here in about 20 minutes. We'll do open discussion. SJ will talk about her experience doing yield farming and all that stuff too. So it should be really fun. But let's get into the news of the day. PulseX updates. And it's a bunch of UI fixes, which he talked about. So I like how The other day, Richard was like, where he said it. He was like, got some UI stuff coming for new PulseX. Let's see. Yeah, PulseX has been improved to be more responsive. Kind of prepared us for this. Hey, not single side staking. Yeah, not all the things no limit order and all this stuff. It does feel pretty cool. I actually haven't clicked around. I just looked at it. So I go into Google DeFi and click exchange. And again, it's all automatically. Why is it still pointing there? Or is this just a cache? Let's see. Let me double check. PulseX 106. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's a cache thing. Why does it still say 105 down here? Interesting. Why is that 0.1? Weird. So app.pulsex. Let me verify this myself real quick. Sorry to derail this. I'm just curious. Probably a caching thing, but let me check. View page source, QI. QI is official. And if we go to app.pulsex, QI. Yeah, weird. I think it is a caching issue. Yeah, let me clear the cache real quick. Yeah, the website stuff's working fine. It's just can you see cache right now? Okay. Let's try this again. Weird. Well, it's not going there. I don't know. Anyways, I'll check on that. That's weird. I literally looked at it last night. It was working fine. Sometimes browsers have weird stuff. Anyways, 106, it added the PulseChain bridge. I did like analysis and I did like a diffing and stuff. What happened between the versions yesterday? Pretty cool. Added the bridge link here, which is super useful. Added, I think somebody said they added some more icons and different stuff here. So a bunch of just minor changes, UI stuff. And then let's see what else. There was, I think everything's just supposed to be more responsive, whatever. The farms haven't changed, any of that too. Although that's more of a blockchain thing that should be picked up by the UI. I'm pretty sure that's you would do that with the limited admin key of like adding farms and stuff, right? With the smart contract of the deployer. I believe that's how it works. So let's see what else. So exchange, added that. That's pretty cool. It doesn't say burn and earn yet. If you go to the pools, or let's go to info, V1, V2. So I hope this says one day burn and earn. Burn and earn, because that's what it does. I'll get into the hyper burn in a minute, but V1, if you go to, for example, you go to put up liquidity and you go add liquidity. If you do it on V1, look at the message at the bottom, very helpful. Everything you need to know as far as that goes. Adding liquidity helps burn PulseX. 100% of the swap fees go to the buy and burn contract, which pays a 1% bounty for it. The only thing you really need to know here is 100% of the swap fees go to the buy and burn. That's why if you want to earn fees in LP, you do it on V2, which is earn, like nicknamed, right? But all the farms, so you can't earn both. I covered this in the yield farming thing a couple days ago, but you can't earn both on PulseX. You can't earn both the incentive token farming and the LP fees. All the farms are in V1, so you can earn the incentive token there. And thankfully, a lot of liquidity, a lot of the swaps and stuff, all the fees get burnt. Go to the buy and burn contract, get bought and burnt. So those go to the buy and burn contract. And on V2, there's no farms there. But if you want to earn LP fees, that's where a lot of that. So all the major liquidity in the ecosystem for the RH coins and the stable coins and stuff is in V1. That's where the farms are. And then on V2, by liquidity, you'll earn 0.022% of the trades on this pair proportional to your share in the pool. Again, I went on all of this in detail in a stream, did a video, search for your no nonsense guide to yield farming, PulseX, and then you'll be able to earn fees there. So again, burn and earn. Think of it like that. V1, fees get burned. V2, you get to earn the fees. V1, there's farms you can earn ink. V2, no farms. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're not putting up liquidity and not farming on V1 unless you want to have the buy and burn, which is amazing. All right, like the buy and burn is super cool. I just want to pull up. Let's go back for a minute to Richard and what he tweeted on. This was like a month or so. Yeah, a month or so after launch. It's when the bug, it's like one of those. It's I don't even like calling it a bug anymore, because to me, bugs have, like, I mean, maybe people lost some LP fees and stuff at the time. I get all that, but I'm saying now, like, as of the current state, it's pretty cool that there's two versions. It's pretty cool that there's burn and earn, because that's what feeds, what somebody calls, for example, hyper burn. I think we should popularize that too. So back when it first happened, back when V1 and V2 became a thing, and there wasn't, because back then it was just V1, split them in two different ones. So PulseX V1 pulls buy and burn 4 times the PulseX that V2 pulls do, as they don't pay LP fees and they buy and burn them instead. 0.29 goes buy and burn, and 0.27 in V2. So when it first happened, we get the first hint of the hyper burn. Not sure, wasn't that exciting at the time. It was like, oh no, this thing happened in PulseX, whatever. Now looking back, it's like, whoa, that's pretty cool, because a ton of it, if you go to the burn tab, is getting burned. 720 billion total, almost 1 trillion PulseX has been burned. Like, anyone in the chat have a billion PulseX? Like, this it's kind of incredible to think about. Does anyone have a billion? It's almost burned 1 trillion. We're working on 1 trillion. It's pretty amazing. So it's super cool. And I think the burn, I just want to pull up the Somi tweet on it real quick too. The burn is something to definitely pay attention to. And Somi, he talks about it in a lot of videos. I can't find a lot of tweets, but basically, he is always mentioning how much the buy and burn's happening, like why that's so important. PulseX is so powerful that you don't need single-side staking. I agree. I mean, I've never cared that much about single-side staking. I know I'm probably in the minority of that opinion. That's fine. I hope we get it for everyone else who wants it, but you don't need it. I think that's the point. I really like this. PulseX is so powerful, you don't need single-side staking. So it goes on to the second thread. PulseX buy and burn is insane because of the, again, V2 bug that turned into a amazing opportunity to have 2 different versions, burn and earn, again, respectively, for V1, V2, and a hyper burn. So this was back in November. That was 2.64%. I don't know. Did it say the percentage on here? Let me go to burn. Somebody's keeping track of the percent. Oh, maybe on GoPulse it's on there. So if we go to PulseX, and does it show it on here? I thought it showed on the percentage of how much burned. I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. Is it on blocks? That's for PulseChain stuff. Why does it not show the buy and burn stat? Am I just overlooking it? Cumulative daily. Yeah, where is like the 3%? It was like 3 or 4%. Let's see. We should go to friends only. Can I just search for percentage PulseX? Let's see. Where are PulseX burned? Okay, so March 13th, 3.65%. So yeah, it's probably more than that now. So that's of the supply. Again, deflationary. That's why you earn ink instead of PulseX. That was a deliberate decision to make sure PulseX is deflationary, to give it these amazing fundamentals, buy and burn, deflationary, and almost 4% of the entire supply has been burned. How are people not more bullish on this? Everyone likes to is it just because the price is down or something? Like, this is like one of the most bullish things. One of the coolest fundamentals we have in this ecosystem as far as RH coins go. And so much so many transactions and stuff are going through. It's amazing. So I think that's pretty cool. What else? So yeah, PulseX upgrade. We got that going on. And then another thing, I'll pull up. Shout out to PulseX Validator. It's got really good tweets, PulseX Validator. Oh no, I'm trying to get the video so it doesn't knock me burns. Speaking of burns. Okay. So, okay. While SJ is not able to join us, that's okay. SJ, if you want, you can still, if you change your mind, you have the link and all that stuff too. We will carry on though. No worries at all. I'll just open it up to AMA myself as well, and can talk about that. So no worries. Rest up. Hope everything's going okay. Oh, 3.72 right now. Awesome. I never get to enjoy my coffee when I'm streaming. I'm gonna start calling it stream coffee. It's not the same. Stream coffee is not the same as regular coffee because I talk for like 20 minutes and I take a sip and it's cold, and then I come back and at the end of each stream, I have myself a full cup. I pour myself a full cup, come do the stream. At the end of each stream, I never drink it all. Never. Unless I only drink it all when I have someone else talking. So I talk the entire time and then I forget to drink. So anyways, PLS price dipped minus 50%. Price did 3x after that. Again, if you want to be sad, you can be sad. If you want to be happy, you can be happy. There's plenty of happy stuff. There's plenty of bullish things to think about that are going on. People are covering them. I love people make my job talking about this stuff easier by making quality tweets and stuff like this and otherwise. Like I really appreciate the creators who have in the ecosystem talking about this. Again, everyone can be frustrated. Everybody can be annoyed. The prices aren't up. They're up and down, all this stuff. I did 100x hit. Everybody can be annoyed and stuff like that. And at the same time, still keep their eye on the ball, right? So overall, PulseX trend is still bullish, still in a bull market. Obviously, I have to wait till April to confirm this isn't a reversal. So April keeps coming up over and over and over. April. What did I talk about yesterday? Let's go back to April. I did a stream yesterday. Nope. I tried to go to mine and I accidentally went to Richard's. It's similarities, I guess, as far as similar interests. So that's an awesome photo, by the way, SJ. I really like that. I like the green. The jacket goes with it. I love all the hexagons. Very, very cool. So I think I did this after the stream too. Yeah, so I talked yesterday. I did a whole stream about April. Is PulseChain going to moon in April? All that stuff. And I did this thread, which I thought was interesting. And again, this is just complete speculation on. I mean, it's a timeline. It's correct me if any of this is slightly inaccurate. I think it's pretty accurate. I'll try to look up the dates and stuff. But more nuance is welcome. But I mean, pure speculation as far as what could happen as far as April and May and October, obviously. So what happens being the story if our favorite bit of it went well, like what is the end? What do we look back and see? What makes the most sense to happen? And again, we don't know, no crystal ball, complete speculation. Obviously I don't give advice of any sort, and I will avoid at all costs giving you advice in any way, but I think it's interesting to think about what would the story end up being? What will it be? What will we look back and say, oh, well, that was obvious, or that didn't turn out so well, that kind of thing. So, buys and bridge starting December, January. What if he's just checking to see how the market responds? And then the dive positioning, kind of like testing out some of the ETH protocols. Hey, I wonder, is this, does this really work, right? Like some of this is kind of just testing out and just seeing like what's the best place to move it. Oh, the market did this, kind of responding like in that way. And then March we had some more buys. So I think there's been three different buys. I think there's been all the PulseChain coins once, the first time in January at least, and then in March again, and then in, let's see, what are we in? March March again, and then it was mostly hex. Then in February, March, we had some more buys, and then it was hex on PulseChain for the last one that I've seen from what I remember. So again, testing the market, see how it responds to different moves. People wanted to sell at SAC rate, we're able to. Again, PulseX went right above SAC rate. You see here, wicked right above SAC rate, or so close to it that, hey, if you wanted to, take your money, break even, whatever, and go. So PulseX was above SAC, briefly, at least wicked above it. And then PulseChain, of course, was above SAC and still is for quite a while now, from what I remember. Well, let me check. I say that, you never know. Yeah, still slightly above SAC, around 20% above SAC. And then, oops, I lost my place. Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, so those are the two SACs. And then, of course, hexes went up and down, all that stuff too. And ink, hey, ink, that's there's no SAC for ink. You can earn it by yield farming or buying it off the market, all that stuff. So April, what if we get more wallet activity? It's more moving stuff around of other wallets. Again, this, like, why do we assume that the 170K ETH one is the only wallet that can make moves, that is controlled by, whales who want to make moves and stuff, right? Why would that be the case? Where's the proof that's the only wallet? More buys and bridging. What if that happens? Additional clarity around the ecosystem, data provided clean. Yeah. What if it's like, okay, April, SEC update in April, happening in April. We should hit 1 million. If the trend line continues, we should hit like 1 million active wallets and stuff, according to the stats and stuff I've looked at. The hex stakers should get around 130K or so or more. So a lot of stuff happened in April, a lot of stuff. And what's when I say April again? I forget what else happened in April. Somebody mentioned something about April. I thought. How's it going? Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of the biggest things, right? 50 weeks. 50 weeks is in April. So there you go. All right, checking out the Spanish hands. Yeah. So 50 weeks is in April. And then, so what happens? What if April is a big month? Again, I don't know if it will be. What if it is? And that provides a catalyst for some mad gains later in the year. That would be pretty cool. I would enjoy that a lot. Apparently people really would like that as well, because it had a ton of views and some good engagement and stuff too. So I think that's a cool story, bro. That's a pretty cool thing to think about. I have no idea if it's going to happen, but to me, again, I think it's interesting to put these pieces together, see what is possible, see what makes sense. I think it is unreasonable. I've said this a million times. It is unreasonable that this ecosystem will not find glory. It is unreasonable. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Doesn't mean it's certain. Doesn't mean I'm saying anything's going to happen. I think if it doesn't, that would be an unreasonable thing to happen. So I'm going to bet on reasonable myself. You guys figure out what you want to do. Fifth as usual. I knew it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Pay me Hex. Nice name. I like that. Let's go. Yeah. And I think just again is, people talk about the cult thing again. Like I'll just bring it up. Hex, PulseChain, people follow RH, whatever. Is it a cult? The short answer is, I don't think it matters. I don't think it's the most interesting question. And I wrote a blog on it too, if you want to check it out. So check out the Hex cult. I think there's more interesting and more beneficial questions to ask. Like, can this ecosystem help me achieve my goals? And is the founder trying to do something great here? Like, where are the intentions? Where are the actions? Where's all that stuff? And I wrote, I like writing in text format sometimes too. For one, it's easy for me to put together my thoughts and put them out there in a way that's consumable for people. And then most people who actually do the research and have a chance of being convinced probably, like to read instead of just, scrolling through, doom scrolling 3-minute videos all the time. I like explainers too, but long form content, blogs, podcasts and stuff, I think are much better for learning. So, and the Hex Classic FUD, like all that stuff, it's nothing new. It's really not. It's I think that, and I say it's FUD, not to say it's not true, but I say it because, for the original sense of the acronym, it certainly created fear, uncertainty, and doubt in people's minds around the product, ecosystem, and stuff. It made it seem overall worse than what it actually is, though, I think. Dude isn't going to pump Ethereum stuff. Not figuratively, not literally. He wants everyone to go to PulseChain. That was the message. So it affected some more than others, and my heart goes out to them. Truly, we did a lot of streams on this, but we will carry on. Like, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back and see all the FUD that has come and gone. Right? Hex can never hit a penny. Right? He hit 50 cents or more. Richard will never come to America. Like, he got on a plane, took pictures on plane, and then went to appear publicly on podcasts. Oh, PulseChain will never launch. It's vaporware. And then it did. Maybe the next mid-May, but it did. Oh, Richard's on the run. What? He literally was strategic and fully within his rights to take as much time as needed to gather the Chad legal team, draft a response on his own timeline. And he did. And then now EHEX takes a backseat for obvious reasons that the OA had to take 0 moves to achieve. The market sold down the ratio to what they think is properly valued, and maybe it'll go up and down. Who knows? It's not settled yet. And it'll pass, and there'll be something new to be happy or sad about. So once you realize this stuff happens all the time, and it's not the end when it does happen, it becomes easier to operate in the ecosystem and crypto broadly, and or not. Again, if you don't prefer it, I mean, again, there's other places and stuff too. I just think this place is the best, and I hope to cultivate, talent and inspire people and just talk about all the things to be happy about, to be optimistic about, and again, get through the struggles as a community and stuff. There's try and follow winners here in this ecosystem. Like, there's plenty of rationally optimistic people, and they can help you not FUD yourself out of mad gains. So I hope everyone finds the people that they think help them the most. I think we're going to be okay. So, yeah, at this point, I'm going to take a break for just a second. All right. Guys have any questions? Again, I don't think SJ's going to make it. So, hey, Chad Donner Swans. I'm here once again to remind the chat just to take the RHMax kill, bros. Chad, he comes in with his muscles and he leaves with his optimism. Don't leave yet. Don't leave, Chad. He's the only guy I know that, like, he'll go in, with a workout, with a stream on one side and a dumbbell on the other. That Chad, he's got the muscles. He knows how to make it happen, I gotta say. Super Snake, great day to be farming ink on PulseX. Yeah, let's go look at the farms real quick. Again, the rest of this I'm going to turn into just AMA. So we'll go for another maybe 15 minutes or so. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. And let's go back to PulseX. Where are we at? And go to farms. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. So we're still over 100% for most of them. Yeah, I don't think much has changed as far, even though the ink price, let's see what's the ink at. Yeah, $6. Even though it went down. Do some people leave? I wonder. No, the liquidity looks pretty similar. Yeah, it looks good. So again, the conservative pools, I did a whole stream on this. You can check it out. Stream and just clip the video. I think the video came out yesterday. Your no nonsense guide to yield farming. But let's say 10K, 30 days, $161 at the most, you could say conservative pool, right? This is the pool that is Pulse and PulseX. If you don't care which one you have more of, then maybe the permanent loss matters more or less to you. And yeah, it's paying 20%. So yeah, again, 10K in this pool. So 5K on each side, 10K total, 30 days, $161. At the current rates, again, if ink goes up and stuff, things are going to look juicy in the entire ecosystem as well. And I explained again all the mechanics, or a lot of mechanics too, in the previous streams. So that's at the lowest APR one, the least incentivized to the highest liquidity. And yeah, I don't know what the weighting is. I'm sure on the blockchain you can see the weighting, the allocation points they assign to each one to incentivize the farm. But you can see these are pretty heavily incentivized because this is really low. It's got a lot of liquidity, but this one has half, more than half the liquidity, but still has 6 times the APR. So you can see like this probably has more allocation points. The stablecoin ones, again, we want to bring more stablecoins in. We want to bring, apparently, the farms want to incentivize ETH pairing with PLS, at least at the time. Low liquidity. Look at this. So yeah, it looks like maybe this is interesting too. So the APR is not too far apart between stablecoins and the ETH and Pulse, right? So, but the liquidity is much, much lower. So yeah, I think, well, I was thinking of maybe something else on that too, but I think, yeah, each one of these have their own allocation points. But that's how it works. I never launched farms myself. I just did, some research in this area and can, try to bring some stuff around the technicals. And stablecoins highly incentivized. And you got the Hex PLS, again, kind of middle tier. You got the middle tier ones, Ink farms. I think the Ink farms, we talked about this the other day, the Rat Pulse and the Ink farms, to me, are some of the most interesting ones. Because if you believe Ethereum is going to go up, and you believe Pulse is going to go up, again, you can factor that in to your decisions, whether to farm, whether you're okay with the permanent loss and stuff like that. But the Ink from this, again, $161 compared to 811. I mean, that's pretty cool. And again, if you don't care if you have more ETH or more Pulse, or you believe they're going to go up together, or you don't believe the ratios are going to diverge too much, at least on a certain time frame, over time, right? Like I hope Pulse does 100x on ETH, right? I hope it goes way up more than ETH. But again, it's farming is one of those things. I do like to watch the ratios over time. It is one of those kind of, it's not a short-term thing, I think, but I'm always looking to see, okay, especially on the stablecoin pools. So in stablecoin, again, you can do, if your strategy is like, if my strategy is I want to, have more stablecoins over time. I want to put like a bucket in here, Pulse and stablecoin. And over time, I want more. I'm okay having more stablecoins. It's basically like, without doing a market sale, you're like silently selling, right? So you're adding liquidity, which is helping the ecosystem. Or again, given my scenario here, I'm adding liquidity. If I were to do this, I'm adding liquidity, helping the ecosystem. And then I'm able to, when the price goes up and I get more stablecoins, when I pull it out at the time, I don't have to market sell. I have the liquidity. I got whatever price I was looking for. Hopefully all that works out. It could be a win-win in that way. So to me, that's what the stablecoins pools are most useful. What I would most likely use them for is to, earn ink while also, being able to get liquidity at a certain time frame for a certain portion of the bag, for example. So that's yeah, I mean, it's kind of like advanced strategy, I guess. You really got to watch. I really got to watch the numbers myself on that to make sure it would be worth it in different ways. But they're heavily incentivized. And again, you can make from 10K $1,000 a month current projections. And again, think price goes up. I hope ink goes to the moon again. I already did it once, and then it did it, somewhat. Well, I don't know. We went outer space for a bit, at least. Still kind of hang around there. Boy, that's like yield farming. I never was into yield farming at all until PulseX. So I learned all this from scratch, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool opportunities out there, I think, in this thing. Yeah. Again, I'm betting on RH coins. So, it's different risks with different farms, and there's some better, worse, and audited and not, and all that stuff. But boy, I like ink. But Evan Well seemed to like ink, and I like ink too. So I'll just cover this one too, and I'll get back to questions. So again, 10K in this one, 30 days, around $400 or $500. And the cool thing about this one is So if you participate, you got to have ink, right? So it means you got to buy ink, or you would have had to earn it from participating in other firms. But once you enter in this, if you were to enter in this, you'll be earning ink. So in this one, it's pretty cool. People can compound. So you can take out the ink. So if you wanted to add more, so let's say I participate in pool and I'm earning, whatever, 50 ink, 100 ink, whatever it is, over a week time period. So I could then take that out, compound it. I could then say, okay, I got 100 ink I've earned. Now I need to pair that with equal sides Pulse or PulseX. And then I put that back into, I add to the farm. I get more LP tokens. I add more liquidity. I get more LP tokens. I stake those tokens. And now I'm able to, again, compound. I'm earning more ink because I put more ink and more of the other side in, whatever, that's PulseChain or PulseX. And I'm able to earn more. And then again, the kind of rotation, that compounding rotation is pretty neat, where I could just keep earning more, earn more ink. And then the buy pressure too, if I don't already have Pulse or PulseX or extra, whatever I want to put in the farm, now that can create a buy pressure on Pulse and PulseX. So then I could just keep putting it in, earning it, putting in, earning it over time, rotating it back through. I'm earning more ink. I'm getting, it's one of those things. If you like ink, want to earn more ink, you can participate in ink farms to earn more ink and rotate it through and compound. So I think that's pretty cool. So 10K there, around 400 or 500, and you're getting, very healthy liquidity for these. Very cool. Not a ghost chain. All right, I like it. All right, just gonna get to the chat, see if there's any questions. I'm gonna wrap up soon. What's up, Finn Bear? Align the light, sweating in ink farms. It's pretty. I do like that about, again, if the ratios aren't going nuts and I don't need to pay attention and reposition stuff, it's pretty cool just to. I mean, I think it's a cool concept just to like sit in the farms, like if nothing else going on, and I've already did the calculation of permanent loss. I'm okay with it. I think the ink is going to go up. All this stuff. It's really chilling in ink farms a lot of the times, but this is a bull market, so I expect there to be some volatility ratios and all that stuff too, and have to do some repositioning. But boy, it's pretty cool. It is underrated. I think not as many people are into it just because it's just this concept you really got to wrap your head around and do some research and figure out how to not wreck yourself, because there are certain things to be careful about. But that's why we're here trying to cover this stuff, right? What's up, KD? Welcome. Just scrolling. I'm just going to look at questions. Oh, Tubby1 just gave me a awesome thing. I did not know. I did not pay attention to details here. Wow. How did I never see that? I guess because it was down here. Well, that's cool. Now you can see you can see the farm multiplier. Usually the farm multiplier is, and in a lot of farms, other farms I've seen, it is right beside it. So I thought they just didn't list it. So, wow. Thank you for that tip. That's a good, so, okay. So let's look at the multipliers. That's pretty cool. Didn't even realize it. So the multiplier, so you go to the calculator, click on details. So 100x multiplier, but it's got high liquidity. And then let's look at the multipliers here on stablecoins. 400x multiplier. Okay, gotcha. That's good to know, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, just in general, you kind of, yeah. Good. It's interesting to see it. So 100x, 400x on stablecoins. What do we got on ETH? Going to go with 200x, 150x. Yep, makes sense. Just looking at the numbers, I was kind of like in my head, just kind of, thinking about it, but that makes sense. Got 100x here. Yeah. So they'll range from 100x to 400x, looks like 200x. Yeah, so the ink farms have 200x. Most of the other ones have 100x, except stables have 400x. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Thank you, W1. Very helpful. Let's see. Question's going to wrap up here. Yeah, appreciate that, man. What's up, Archie? Hexagon Contractor. All right, I'm going to wrap up. Any other questions? I'll wait just a couple minutes. Sorry I can't get to all the comments and everyone in the chat, but if you have any questions, I'll answer them while I'm up here. See if there's anything else on the cover. Great stream. Definitely enjoyed this one. Burn and earn. One day we'll have burn and earn. Let's check out DeFi Llama real quick. Let's go to not compare chains, but go to chains, see where PulseChain is. Well, I'm going to guess 14th. Huh, nice. I guessed it. I seriously didn't see it. I was just like, man, 14. So close to being back in the top 10. Seriously, once we get over a bill, if we can pass Avalanche, so if we can just double the TVL, that sounds like a big deal, but I don't. Once this place gets going, like momentum can be pretty cool. So if we get over 1 bill, if we just pass Avalanche for now, I think being in this territory would be really exciting. We get over 1 bill, you know, we get closer to the top 5. That would be cool. I'd be excited for that. As a contractor, I'd like to say we might be poor USD terms, but rich in RH tokens. I like that. I like that. Oh, Fox had a couple questions. Did they end in a question mark? I kind of just look for question marks. Oh, on the multiplier? Good question. What are they? I guess the question is, what are they multiplying? Yeah, I just saw that the multiplier. What are they multiplying? Let's see. Usually I would just ask GPT and get a quick answer. Otherwise, we're going to have to Google. I don't know off the top of my head, honestly. So farm multiplier 100x. Okay, here we go. Multiplier represents a proportion of the ink rewards as each farm receives, proportion of ink produced each second. For example, if a 1x farm received 1 ink per second, a 40x farm received 40. Okay, there you go. So, so each farm receives 1 ink per second, and then a multiplier would be how much more ink that farm would receive to then distribute to everyone. There you go. Yeah, pretty simple. I just hadn't seen it. New tab, nice. This amount is already included on. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff. I mean, again, it's fun to know this stuff, and it's interesting to kind of see which ones are more incentivized. But a lot of this you can already tell by the APR, based on the liquidity and APR. You know which ones are more heavily incentivized, and the multipliers are just kind of like, oh, that's why, right? Very cool though. Yeah, does it make sense, Foxmont? Good question. Makes sense. Oh, you had one. Yeah, you got to end in the question mark so I can pick up on it. 555 watching right now, by the way. Shout out to 555. What could be done to provide ink more utility and take it beyond a dump token? I don't think it needs any more utility, my personal opinion. I think it is the ink cannot be, I've always thought it cannot be just a down forever token, because people need to be incentivized to yield farm. If they're not incentivized to yield farm, then they're not going to be adding liquidity and farming and earning and interacting with PulseX other than trading, which any DEX aggregator can do trades for you, and probably in a better way as of today, at least. We'll see the upgrades and stuff we get. So I think its price going up gives it a speculation utility, if you will, gives it a reason to be held up onto, at least, again, for speculation. And I think that's enough. I think there will be people in the community building upon it. I don't think that the PulseChain and the PulseX devs themselves need to flip any switches to make ink more interesting, because it's already going up. So like, yeah, if you go to GoPulse, I mean, if you look at ink, it went up more than anything else. It went down more than anything else. And it went up more than anything else again. So I don't think it needs anything. It would be a nice to have, but I think it's monetized. I like the way I think Sloth coined it to monetizing risk. So it is the risk. It is what you get rewarded for. You know, the risk of impermanent loss. You're rewarded more based on how the farms are incentivized, and which, you know, could be somewhat based on, you know, could be correlated at least with the risks, more risk and less risk and stuff like that, or at least appear to be. So I think people, so again, I guess the question is, why won't people dump ink? And the answer is because they think the price will go up. Just like everything else, just like Bitcoin. Like, what can you do? I mean, literally, like, you look at Bitcoin. What can you do with Bitcoin? I can't stake it natively to earn yield. Hex does that. That's why Hex is the better Bitcoin, right? Hopefully we'll get the store value narrative back this cycle. But what is the difference between ink and Bitcoin? Except, you know, adoption, liquidity, all the fancy metrics and stuff. Like, I'm just saying, you know, obviously I understand Bitcoin has a bigger brand and stuff. I'm just giving an example of like, why not? Why wouldn't people hang on to it if they believe it's going to, if it RH has suggested people could view it as leverage on Pulse and PulseX. What is the purpose of Pulse and PulseX? Like, okay, I need Pulse to use the network for gas, to validate. I can stake it, different community protocols, stuff like that. I can stake it for be a validator, obviously. What is the purpose of PulseX? It gets bought and burned. It's a place I can make trades. I don't know. I don't think ink needs utility. If it has utility, that's cool, but I don't think it needs utility. I think it has inherent utility for being for playing this important role in the ecosystem. Because it needs to be valuable, or else people aren't going to participate. That's my best take. RHMax is a hardcore maxi. I'm going to take that in a positive way, I guess. I do like the values of that from RH's ideals, and his products are pretty cool too. So I think there's worse things. There's worse things. I don't want to be a toxic maxi. I'll say that. That's one thing I do pride myself on, is not being a toxic maxi. And I define it as, you know, I like to talk about products that help the other products, but I don't go around shouting down people who disagree with me. But I still, you know, hold true to the principles I believe in, and I like this ecosystem, and I'm voting for RH and his coins. So yeah, I think we all have a cool role to play in this ecosystem, and we can play in a very positive way. Yeah, more positivity. I like it. All right, that's all I got for y'all today. That's all. I'm running out of time here. Appreciate the questions and comments and stuff, though. Yeah, thank you, Alon. A lot. Appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, if you're interested in yield farming, I did a couple streams already that talks a lot about it. Go to gorealdefi.com, click on farming. Let me just put that in one more time. In case you haven't seen it, you don't know Go Real DeFi, you've never heard of it, whatever. Gorealdefi.com. Learn to earn. The middle right column on desktop. On mobile, you got to do desktop view. Otherwise, it'll just show the links to the apps and stuff. Learn to earn. Click on farming. I'm going to add this one to the playlist as well. So the ones I just did, making $800 a month yield farming. Are you making $800 a month? PulseX did that, added that there. This is a clip of the 28 minutes that I was going through the farms. So a abbreviated version of it. And then, yeah, there's just like a ton of like how to do it, onboarding, coffee, I added Coffee's video, some other videos on here as well. So many stuff when it first came out. A lot of stuff to learn: airdrops, farming, NFTs, projects. Look at all the projects. Learn about the founder. You click on this, it'll go through vintage RH videos, which are coming out every Thursday until June 2025, every Thursday or more. So learn about the founder, learn about Hex, learn about PulseX, learn about making money. One of my favorite series that I've did so far, making money in crypto. Really good series. Onboarding. Send this to anyone you want to onboard to PulseChain. It goes through simple ways, 2-minute videos of how to do each particular thing. Connect to MetaMask, stake, trade, use different community products too. Security. Learn about security. Learn about privacy. All these AMAs I've talked about. I went over all these concepts. Got a blog that goes into more details too. That's for security, privacy. This goes through privacy and MetaMask and how to prevent spying and what VPNs are and how proxy servers and Tor and all these different OPSEC and VPNs, all that stuff too. Stat sites. This is an aggregated collection of all the different stat sites. If you go to this page, you will find something new that you've never seen before. If it's the first time you go into it, I almost guarantee you will find some new cool thing that you've never seen before if you go here, because I've tried to pull out all the little amazing sites that cover Hex stats and all the little apps, in-state calculator and how to be a validator and backup Hex and Hex search and Telegram stuff and Hex white paper, all that stuff. And then you can check out the TVL and how much amazing stuff. We're back to 500 mil on TVL and PulseChain. Number go up, amazing. How to be a validator. Got a whole list. You'll be a PulseChain validator? 77 videos. Boom. 77 videos. There's no shortage of information of how to do any of this stuff. 77 videos on how to be a validator, streams, scripts, automation, all that stuff. So you got everything you need to make it in this ecosystem. Like if you really, truly want to do it, you want to put in the time, energy, effort, capital, I think this is the place I put my time and energy. I think it's the best place I could do that. And I wish you all the maddest of gains as usual. So that's all I got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.